All right. Hello, everybody. Zoxter99 back here again. I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about something that I think a lot of people blow off all too often, especially in a relationship, a romantic relationship. And that is those gut feelings. Those gut feelings that, something's wrong. Those gut feelings that may fire off when you've been dating somebody for a week or two and all of a sudden they give you the L word and they say, "Hey, I think I love you." And your gut is just going nuts. I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about this because I've had quite a bit of experience with this. So let's say that this is you, right? And let's say that you're in a relationship, you're walking along here, and let's just give you some hair here, right? I don't know if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't really matter because we both have these gut feelings and gut instincts. Now, let's go ahead and take your partner and we'll just say that they look like this, right? All right. I know I am drawing really, really good here, guys. I know you guys are super impressed. All right. So this is you, right? And this is your partner. And I want to go ahead and show you guys, first of all, why when your gut goes off firing this, the signal, it almost sometimes feels like it's turning itself in knots, maybe based on something that, your partner is telling you. And they might be telling you something and it might be a complete BS story. It might make sense logically or on the outside, but before your brain can process it, your brain's like, that sounds a little bit weird. And meanwhile, your gut is just turning knots at whatever they're saying. Okay? This happens for a reason, people. And I'll go ahead and prove to you that, first of all, I want you guys to understand that your gastrointestinal system is firing like hundreds of millions of neurons are going back and forth. Signals are going back and forth between your brain up here and down here, where you can really sense it down here in your gut. And there's all kinds of, we're talking about millions of neurological signals being fired back and forth between your brain and down here all the time. And this is why a lot of people, that study this stuff, call your gut a second brain, because you have a lot more sensitivity down here. And when something is off, when something really isn't making sense, or something bad is about to happen for a lot of people, or when something bad is happening, a lot of times you can sense it down here because your guts are a lot more sensitive than anything up here under your skull. Okay. But usually what this means is something bad is happening or something doesn't make sense, or somebody that you really care about could be lying their damn ass off. Okay. Now, and I want to go ahead and show you guys how accurate this is when we're not even talking about a relationship, right? How many times have you guys just been in life, right? And maybe let's say you get paid, right? You're at work and you get paid and it's Friday, right? So here it is, Friday, it's payday, yay! And if you guys are like me, a lot of times you might live payday to payday, so you have to pay these bills. But especially when you're young, a lot of times you take that money, right? Take that money from payday, and before you pay the bills, right, which need to be paid, like your rent, your electric bill, and stuff like that, you're like, no, I'm not going to pay the bills right now. I'm going to Best Buy. I'm going to the store and I'm going to buy some cool games, or I'm going to buy, if you're a lady, maybe you're going to buying shoes and clothes and a new purse or whatever. And so you decide you're going to go into Best Buy as soon as you get this paycheck, and you go in there and you spend a lot of money, right? And while you're spending that money inside that store, or maybe while you're in line, have you guys ever had a situation where maybe you kind of sense, oh man, I wonder if I'm going to have enough money for my bills, and you're spending too much money as you pull out your debit card that you just got paid on or whatever, And have you guys ever sensed your gut feeling kind of feeling uncomfortable while you're in line here to pay for that stuff? Something like that would be a good example of your gut understanding what your brain up here is processing, but not wanting to admit to yourself, hey, I'm spending too much money. I'll deal with it later or whatever. You should be listening all the time to your gut going nuts. Okay? Because a lot of times your gut knows that something is wrong. Okay? So this is very, very important, guys. Again, remember your gut and your brain are working continually back and forth, shooting all these neurons are shooting signals back and forth all the time, millions and millions and millions and millions of times every second. Okay? And so a lot of times what will happen, guys, is you'll be dating somebody or you'll be have a partner or whatever, and maybe they were telling you the night before, hey, I had to stay after work late. I had to do a bunch of stuff in the office or whatever. And again, your brain here is going, this hasn't ever happened before. Meanwhile, your gut here is just going nuts because your gut knows that something is off, right? Something is off about this person and something just isn't making sense. Whatever they're telling you on the phone there while they're talking to you on the phone, oh, sorry, honey, I got to, I had to stay in the office late for, I'll probably be home by 10 or 11 tonight. Don't wait up for me. I just got to get this stuff done so that, we've been backed up for weeks and, they're going on and on and on. Meanwhile, your gut's going nuts knowing that something is off, right? And the thing is when you love this person because you've been dating them a long time and when you have this attraction for them, a lot of times your brain is wanting to believe what they're saying because you love this person so much. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this woman. She's got to be telling me the truth. And your brain's wanting to buy what she's telling you because after all, you love her and she's beautiful or he's beautiful. Maybe you're a female and this is a guy telling you the same thing. I mean, it can work both ways, guys. The important thing is both men and women have these gut feelings that go off all the time, right? Now, even though she may be lying, a lot of times what does happen with these gut feelings, what I'm saying, guys, is make sure you're always listening to your gut instinct and maybe ask questions when something like this is going on in a romantic, relationship. So if somebody's telling you, and it couldn't, it might be, this is just an example, could be many different things that they might be telling you that maybe this person is out at Best Buy spending too much money, and you call them up on the phone and they're telling you, hey, I'm just buying a couple of things. Meanwhile, you got a whole cart full of video games, right? So maybe this is the guy at Best Buy saying, oh, honey, don't worry about it. I'm just buying a couple of cheap things on sale at Best Buy, right? Meanwhile, he's got $400 worth of games in here that he's buying, and by the time he gets home, but while the guy is telling his wife or his fiance or whatever, hey, I'm just buying a couple of things. I'll be back home in a little bit or whatever. Meanwhile, while he's saying this, she has this gut feeling, oh my God, something's wrong, and she feels it. She needs to listen to that. So what I'm saying, guys, is when you have this gut feeling, it's a time to start asking questions right then and there. And I'm not saying get mad or don't get upset at your partner or anything like that, but it's a good time to start asking questions. He should be asking questions when this stuff isn't making any sense. And if she feels like something's going wrong in this situation, this example I'm giving you, Best Buy, where her fiance or her husband or whatever, saying, oh, I'm just buying a couple things, we're okay. But she knows that you got to pay these bills, right? She knows these bills. She was just looking at them earlier this afternoon, and she knows you got a $200 electric bill and a $300 whatever bill, cell phone bill, whatever. She knows all these bills you got to get paid, and she knows how much money you typically bring home every month. Now I got a big mess here, I know. So I can't say this enough, guys. I really cannot say this enough. You need to really trust your gut instinct. Trust that it is telling you something is wrong. It is telling you that misinformation is maybe being told to you, something's up. Trust your gut. And I know that sounds really weird, sounds like superstition and all that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of truth in your gut feelings. So if you're talking to somebody and like maybe your gut has a really just firing off to you that you think maybe your partner is cheating on you or whatever, just that is actually your brain's firing those neurological signals back and forth to your gut, causing your gut to twist in knots, right? And the thing that's making the most sense to you at that point, based on whatever your partner is telling you, is that hey, what you're thinking here is cheating. That's what you're wondering, right? You're like, okay, is my partner cheating on me? Is there somebody new? Something like that, right? And again, this is just another example, guys. So this might be what your gut is wondering based on what's coming on, what's making sense based on your experience, based on your life, that kind of thing. But that's, again, when you don't blow up, you just need to start asking questions calmly. Okay? Don't ignore your gut feeling, right? Whatever the situation is. Your gut starts going off, it's time to start asking questions. A lot of times people's gut feeling goes off when something bad happens. If your partner is going to Best Buy and they have a flat tire, or something bad happens while driving to Best Buy, a lot of times those gut feelings will fire off, and you may not know what exactly is wrong. You just know something's wrong. You know your partner is out there stranded in the middle of the road with a blown tire, or whatever. You don't know what's going on. You just know something bad's happening, and that a lot of times that can really cause your gut to turn, in knots as well. Okay, so always, guys, always, always, always trust your gut feeling. If you have a partner or something like that, you're dating somebody, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you're dating, and they're giving you the big story. They're making a lot of excuses about where they're at and why they're not giving you more time, why they're not home when they usually are, and stuff like that. And night after night or week after week, they continue to be late or give you excuses or reasons why they're not available to you when they normally would have been. You need to really trust your gut instinct, because your gut feeling is going to start turning knots in all likelihood. And whatever they're telling you, if they're telling you, hey, it's this, and this. Now, a lot of times, too, remember, cheaters, people, a lot of times cheaters will be really good at pointing that finger right back at you. So if you ask questions calmly, even if you're asking questions calmly about, hey, is there somebody else in the picture? Is there this, or that? A lot of times, your partner, your wife, your husband, whoever, when they are doing something they shouldn't be doing, it's a natural defense mechanism to point the finger right back at you and say, hey, you have trust issues. I think you need to go get help. I think you need counseling. You definitely have trust issues. I am not your ex. I am not your ex-wife. I'm not your ex-girlfriend. She's the one who would do this kind of stuff. No, you're the one that is causing my gut to have feelings. The words you're saying, the excuses you're making for not being available when you normally are what's causing my gut to go nuts. Remember, if they're telling you stuff that makes a lot of sense and everything jives, your gut's not going to be turning in knots. Okay? Again, that's what I say. Always, always, always trust those gut feelings. Now, one thing you need to be really careful about when you trust these gut feelings is, you might feel your gut turning in knots while they're telling you something or whatever, and maybe it's just something a little bit is off. So a lot of times what happens is when our gut starts turning feelings, then our imagination starts running wild. So you definitely need to be careful with the imagination running wild. You know what I mean? So for example, let's say that situation where your partner is saying, hey, I'm stuck in the office late, I'm going to be late all week. And especially if it's like a weekend or something like that, Friday night or something like that, and they're having to stay in the office till 11 p.m., that should be a red flag for you, especially if they've never done it before or anything like that, especially if there's been other suspect things that have been happening, such as seeing them texting a lot on their phone or their computer, things like that around the house. They're spending a lot more time texting instead of interacting with you. That might be another red flag. You start putting these red flags together, and now again, this is what I'm talking about. Now, what may be happening is they may not be working until 10 p.m., but maybe this person, if they were going out with a girlfriend or doing something completely innocent, they wouldn't be telling you, hey, I'm working late. Also, if they were actually working late and it is the kind of job where you typically do have to work late, and you've learned to trust your partner, your gut's probably not going to be going off when they tell you this. So if your gut's going off, something's wrong. So it may simply be that there's a new guy in the it's a guy, and that's why they don't want to tell you what it is. But there's a new guy in the office, or there's a new woman in the office, right? And they just decided to go out to the bar, right? Here's the bar. Here's their stools, and they're sitting on them, and they're having a drink, right? And nothing happens. They're just having a drink. They're having an innocent drink. It's just a new person. They decide to go out and have, a cold one. But your partner didn't want to tell you because they was afraid your imagination would go wild and you'd go nuts. So they said, "Hey, I'm working in the office late," and maybe nothing here happens at all. But your imagination is going to run wild, and you're going to imagine these two doing all kinds of naughty things, right? You're going to imagine the worst possible situation. And this is why, in any relationship, communication is key. Being able to communicate calmly without getting mad. What the hell's going on here? Man, if I could write, it would be good. So, communication, guys, this is a brand new tablet for me. So, please excuse my sloppiness in my writing, but I think you guys can understand what I'm saying here. But communication is key, guys. And then also, just like right up here, guys, like we're talking right up here, trust, right? Trust is something that you can, it takes years to earn trust. Take a long time to earn somebody's trust. But if you wind up getting drunk and you guys end up having a kiss after the bar or whatever, or your partner ends up having a kiss, or something happens because you get a little bit tipsy and do something you didn't mean to do, and something happens here. You know what I mean? You can take years worth of trust and you can break it just like that in one evening, in just a few minutes. You can break years worth of trust. So always be careful, guys. But what I'm going to say here, guys, is communication and trust are key in any relationship. But really, what I want to tell you guys is don't ignore your gut feelings. If your partner, when you're asking them calmly questions about, "Hey, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense about why you're staying after work late every Friday night for the last 3 weeks, and I've seen you texting a lot, over the past few weeks as well." That's a good question. That's a well thought out question, and as long as you're asking it calmly, right? You shouldn't have accusations come back at you. Your partner should be answering the question calmly. They shouldn't be pointing the finger back at you saying, "Well, you have trust issues, you need help, you need this, you need that." No, they need to start being honest and answer the questions, or at least understanding why you're asking these questions, because you're asking good, solid questions about what they're telling you. I can't reiterate it enough, guys and women. Trust your gut feelings. They're there for a reason. They're tied right into your brain, and a lot of times they sense things that maybe you would overlook if you were just thinking about them with your head. So it kind of gives you that feeling, kind of gives you that, on my guts and knots here. Sometimes it can be really uncomfortable, and it's doing that for a reason. Your gut's trying to tell you something. Your gut's trying to say, "Hey, they're lying. This don't make sense," or somebody's in danger. Anytime your gut goes nuts, it knows something is wrong somewhere with the information that's coming in. Okay, with a logical, processing logically the information that you're being given at that time, your gut knows something is wrong. So remember to listen and trust your gut feelings. As much as you may love your partner, I know you love them, right? But you should be trusting your gut. A lot of times you should probably be trusting your gut way more, especially a partner that maybe you don't know too well. Maybe you haven't known them that long. Maybe it's a long distance relationship and you can't see what they're doing. A lot of times in those kind of situations, your gut's probably going to be something you want to trust a hell of a lot more than whatever they're spitting out. Okay? So be sure you comment down below, guys. Let me know if this video makes any sense. I just want to go ahead and tell you guys, don't let your imagination run wild. Be careful about this part right here. Don't let your imagination go wild, but it's time to start asking questions when your gut is firing off, and not feeling right about what, especially if it's something your partner is telling you or whatever, something that doesn't make sense. Start asking questions, guys, and ladies. Be sure you comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think I'm right. Tell me an example of when what I'm telling you was right on. I'd love to know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure you give me a like, guys. Be sure you subscribe to my channel here if you're not already subscribed. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This has been Zaxter99. Have a good one.